Hi, thank you for joining me for Aquarius December Tarotscope. I think you're going to really like this reading. It looks like it has a lot of very positive cards in it. Just going to move that over there. I am using the Celestial Tarot deck for this reading, and it's really different. It has some very, very modern interpretations of the cards. It's by Kay Stevenson and Brian Clark. And for your oracle cards, I am using the Mystical Wisdom Oracle card by Gay Guthrie and Josephine Wall. So let's get into your reading. So for the first day, first week of December, Aquarius, we have three cards here: the Star, the Seven of Swords, and Judgment. So the Star is telling me this is your card. It's Aquarius, and it is telling me that you are coming into a situation where you're going to come up with a very innovative way of dealing with things, something that's very new, very Aquarian, very Uranian, that nobody else would really think of. And this is going to be your way of defending what is something quite personal to you. You're going to find yourself in a situation that requires an innovative and clever way of response. So it is a defense card, but it is more something to do with communications or the mind. And Aquarius, you're really good at that. So I'm not surprised that the Star card comes up here, and you're going to think of something brilliant by way of dealing with this tricky situation. This card also, if you notice, has lepus up at the top for the hair, and hares are known to be tricksters and shapeshifters. So you're going to be digging into your bag of tricks really, really deeply in order to figure out how to deal with this situation. And the next card that we have is Pluto, Judgment. That's the picture there. Very interesting, the Judgment card. Very different from normal Rider-Waite decks. You will notice that in the one hand for the person on the card, there is a clutch of jewels in their hand. But then there are figures of people walking up a staircase past him, and Gabriel is blowing their horn, announcing Judgment Day. Interesting card, really, really interesting card. The Pluto or Judgment card here is coming up to remind you of something from the past that you still have to resolve. And because you have the Star and the Lepus card, Seven of Swords there, I'm going to say that your response to resolving this is quite clever, is really innovative, is like nothing anybody else has ever done. So you're going to have a really original response to this, and as a result, I think it's going to clear some karma for you, Aquarius. I think you're going to have a little karma clearing in the beginning of December. And it could be sort of kismet the way it all falls together, because initially when you come up with this idea, the situation that you're dealing with is very much present day. It's nothing to do with the past. But in fact, you are going to be cutting karmic ribbons and fixing things that you did in the past. The next card for the second week is Temperance, which is ruled by Sagittarius. So the Temperance card very often tells us to practice moderation in all things, and also especially before any kind of spiritual awakening or revelation. It's assumed that one needs to spend time in quiet reflection, and that may be the case here, but it is the card ruled by Sagittarius, which is not about quiet contemplation. However, Sagittarius is always the seeker of knowledge and always the seeker of the higher spiritual values. So I think you have a little bit of a conundrum here, Aquarius. You will want to go, go, go and take care of the situation for the second week, and yet at the same time, you will need a period of reflection and contemplation in order to approach it in a more ethical, more spiritual manner. Sagittarius is all about ethics as well. So I think you're going to have to challenge yourself to be completely ethical and acting completely with integrity about this situation occurring in the second week. And this could still be fallout actually from the first week as well. The second card is the Four of Cups, and this is the Serpents. And this card has Pluto and Scorpio on it, resonating back to the Judgment card, which is also about Pluto as well. And this card is really about healing. It's not at all what it is in the Rider-Waite deck. This card is about healing. It's about understanding the wound that you have and really bringing it out to the light so that you can cure it. And so this may be a more psychological or emotional or even spiritual wounding that you're experiencing. And again, I think it's fallout from the first week where all of a sudden you realize that, wow, I'm dealing with things from my past as well. I'm dealing with karmic things that have to be resolved. And so I think that this healing that you're going through, or the spiritual revelation that you're coming to, has a lot to do with healing things from the past, possibly from past lives as well. And then we get the Princess of Pentacles, which in this deck is representing spring and all the things that can come about with spring: new growth, new relationships, happiness, new baby animals, or all sorts of the things that happen in spring. So I think what this is saying is that you're going to experience a type of rebirth through this whole situation with the first couple of weeks in December. You're going to approach a situation, feel a little bit defensive, then you'll go within and realize that you can handle this situation in a much different way, which is really profound. This takes you back to a karmic instance that allows you to have a spiritual revelation, which is what the Sagittarius card is about, and then deep, deep, deep spiritual healing and a new spring for oneself. So really, really full kind of revelation, a spiritual revelation for you, Aquarius. Really exciting for the first 2 weeks of December. And then we come up to the Eight of Cups. Now the Eight of Cups in the Rider-Waite deck is the person in the cloak walking away from the Eight Cups. In this deck, the information is quite different. This is saying that you have a chance with some kind of personal relationship, either with a job or a friendship, a lover, where there has been some sort of an impasse reached. And this could be brought about by an event of some kind of betrayal or something. But rather than just walking away from it, you need to figure out how do I heal it? Again, you're in the healing mode. So how do I heal my relationship? Can I understand their point of view? And can that point of view mesh with mine? So it's a much different way of looking at things. Rather than sort of demanding that your partner act in a certain way, you're going within. Now you have to have complete trust with your partner, because you want to trust that your partner is also going to dig deep, as you will, in order to come about to this resolution. So big, deep things, really heavy karmic things going on here in this reading in December. But it is coming into the season from Sagittarius into Capricorn, and that is kind of a heavy time of year. We go from Christmas into New Year's, and New Year's is all about all these, resolutions. We're going to do things so much better. It's really the accounting, the atoning for our life at that point in time. So it's kind of appropriate for this kind of year that we would have this going on. Now the next card that we have is the Princess of Swords, and she has these giant, I don't know if they're ravens or crows. I'm going to say they're ravens. They're really giant. And they're standing with her. And she's holding what they're calling the Sword of Discrimination. So she is looking at the end of the harvest. Harvest is well past, and yet it is the beginning of the new season and the beginning of, so she's standing at the solstice. She's standing at the winter solstice and realizing that now days will begin to be longer, but we're still in the winter. So what this card is saying is that you have to look forward into the future with discernment. You have to realize what the cycles of your life are and move through those cycles with discernment, with understanding what comes with those cycles and where they will take you. So these two cards together are very powerful. You really have to dig deep emotionally, but then you also have to look at the nuts and bolts reality, at the practical reality, the physical reality of winter, of going into a season where there is no more crops to harvest. You have to make do with what you've set aside for the winter. Have you done that well? And if not, what can you do in the future to offset that failing? So really interesting there. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is saying that your fortune could be changing, your life could be changing, and it's your choices. However, it's also destiny, it's also fate. And if you cheat the gods, you won't get what you want. That's in antiquity. In today's world, we realize that we create our own lives. We make our own destiny. So from the discernment and the choices and the learning and plumbing of the depths of your emotional soul that you've been doing through all of this other work, you probably are shifting the Wheel of Fortune in your favor, because you've cut the karmic ties which were holding you back, and now you're moving on to something quite different. So how many major arcana do you have? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have quite a few major arcana. So December is a major month for you, Aquarius, and it is the beginning of something really, really beautiful, I feel, for 2023. So let's go on to the final and fourth. Okay, this is very interesting. So for the fourth week, we have two cards that actually really go together. So this is the Six of Swords, and the swan that is on the card is Cygnus. Now, if you know anything about mythology, you will know that the swan, or Cygnus, was partnered with Leda. Let me just make Zeus. Let's see. Cygnus is the constellation. I'll just read this. As a complex cross-cultural symbol, the swan also appears as a celestial image in the constellation of Cygnus. Zeus shapeshifted into this image to ravage Leda and father the beautiful Helen and the twins Castor and Pollux. The swan is also, okay, they go on to a bunch of other stuff. So what this swan is symbolizing is that you will be moving from difficult to calmer waters. The swan always picks the most beautiful spot in the universe in which to dwell, and it picks its partner for life. The next card is the Lovers, and in this deck, the Lovers are linked to Castor and Pollux, or Helen and Castor and Pollux. So the first relationship that we come to in our lives is Gemini. That's when we meet the other. And this is when we're quite young, so usually it's a sibling. So it's not somebody that we would have a deep, mature love with, but it is somebody that we would have a deep and abiding love with. So if we think about the Lovers as not our brother or sister, but someone that we are coming into contact with on the cusp of a change in our lives when things just get easier, or that being in the relationship, I think this is a new relationship, by the way, is making your life easier, much, much, much easier. So I think going through all of this difficulty in December, Aquarius, is leading you to the point where you will open your heart and allow somebody in for a beautiful relationship, and that's very exciting. And the final card is the Queen of Swords, which is fixed air, which is Aquarius. So this is your card at the very end of the reading. So coming into the fullness of you, coming into the Queen, which is a very high level of mastery, the Queen holding up the sword of discernment, of truth, is really fabulous, Aquarius. So you start out with the Star as being just the genius who thought up the most brilliant solution, and you end with the Queen of Swords, which is you, which is also Aquarius. So very much You are accomplishing what you need to accomplish this month, Aquarius. So it's a very productive month, especially considering your emotional and spiritual accomplishments throughout this month. It's just really, really productive. So that's the tarot card reading. I'm really glad that you listened to this. This is a very profound reading for you, Aquarius. And please leave me some comments down below and let me know how this hit. And now let's look at your oracle card. The oracle card is, this is great. Good fortune. Let magic in. What a fabulous card. What an amazing card for this reading. That is very cool. Let me put it down here. Let's read about good fortune and letting magic in. Yes, let's. Welcome to the magic of life. All good things are coming your way. You deserve your heart's desire, so allow yourself to feel good now. When you send out positive energy and are ready to receive, Providence gets into action. You don't need to understand how this happens. Just trust that the universe is at work and will rearrange itself to make the right things happen for you. After you have asked for what you desire, give thanks and trust that it will occur. And your mantra for this month is, I trust in the magic of life to fulfill my desires. Wow. I love that rainbow going through the card. That's just amazing. Amazing. So Aquarius, that is your reading. I hope you got a lot out of it. Again, please be sure to like, share, and I hope you're subscribing, and also leave me a comment. All of these things help the channel, but more than that, they allow me to know if I'm getting through to people, if these are meaningful readings, if they're helpful for people. I really hope that they are. And I am going to be giving away a free reading when I reach 2,500 subscribers, so be sure to tell your friends to subscribe, get them coming to the channel, and maybe you'll be the one who gets a free reading. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful, beautiful December. Have a wonderful holiday season, Aquarius. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.